Okay, back again another live stream broadcast or podcast or whatever it is. So basically, I'm in unintentional free time, which basically already happened since the morning, even though there is some long interruption in the middle until I finally got another unintentional free time, which I immediately try to utilize for the native language podcast since basically I'm still have one more episode that I haven't been recorded. So yeah, even though I eventually create two episodes instead, just in case, in order to make further. I don't know what's that words. Further capacity, not capacity. Further. I don't know. I just forgot. Further capacity, maybe for me if there is something turns unexpected, just like the several previous the weekly scheduled intentional free time which I cannot use because there is a long weekend last week which I don't really utilize it for do any kind of trip because most of my friends are just trying to do on their own together without inviting me, but it's okay since I don't really like the trip as well. Besides, it's basically make me save more money either. So yeah, but I still cannot do any personal productivity because during that time I'm still need to do several things on my main job of tasks, which basically gonna be a little bit harder than usual. And yeah, I don't know what else that I basically want to talk about because I basically already tried to talk about in the native language podcast for around 4 episodes, which 20 minutes in total duration, perhaps, even though it's still far from what I usually try to do on the intentional free time, which usually can utilize almost 1 hour of recording, perhaps in a single day. And yesterday I only able to do it around 10 minutes, and today another 10 minutes, which I basically need to sacrifice the good behavior as well, which I basically don't really like. But yeah, that's the only thing that I can do in order to keep the 2 days single upload consistency that I have been keep for more than half a year or almost a year, perhaps. I'm not sure. And to be honest, I don't really have something to say what from the last broadcast until right now. Maybe because some of the things are already explained as well in the native language podcast, so I don't really remember what I basically want to express. But yeah, it's still 4 minutes less. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking about many things that I just don't know how to pursue those things. Because yeah, for some reason everything was not always be getting better. I know some people have those kind of opportunity, but most people are just try to go through a stagnant life without basically having any difference, even though yeah, most of them are still pretty much grateful or be happy at least with their life without any things that seems to be no differences. But yeah, maybe they only hope for others, which basically or definitely is going to be more convenient for them. so they only hope for their descendants as long as they seems to be have a better life than them, because yeah, that's most of the parents or future parents are always expected for their descendants. And yeah, what else did I basically want to talk about? So yeah, even if people are pretty much have the opportunity to grow every single time on their life, the amount of growth that they can have is definitely not equal every time as well. Sometimes they still or eventually reach certain points that the growth are just no longer possible. Even though, yeah, I basically still have so many of those opportunity, even though I'm not really utilize it or just waste it. I don't know. Maybe because I always dream about other patients besides my main job of task that I currently do right now. Because I don't know, another patient that seems to be more convenient to me, even if the results are pretty much the same. If it is finally the same, I already more than grateful, obviously, because yeah, maybe increasing or making it grow will probably easier, perhaps, I'm not sure, because the hardest thing is definitely to reach a certain point that you can eventually grow over and over again, even though not all of the people able to grow like that as well, but yeah, at least there are still some possibilities as long as they always try to adapt with the new condition, perhaps, unless instead of not unless instead of forcing myself to adapt with something new that I basically don't really like, but with the same exact expectation. So yeah, that's something that's basically turned backwards on both sides. I don't know how to represent those kind of feels. I don't know. It's just I just try to be grateful and try to accept anything that basically happen in the future as good as I can, because yeah, maybe if it is already the time, then yeah, it's okay, then I maybe it will make me more motivated perhaps to find another opportunity. But if it is not the time yet, maybe there's still some time to utilize it for supporting my personal productivity, perhaps until it finally able to become my main job of tasks, which I just don't know when. And yeah, it's still less than 10 minutes. I don't know what else did I basically want to talk about. After this, I will try to rest for a while, perhaps not trying to do the good behavior recording. Maybe because I'm still currently in mood to do it late night before going to bed, even though, yeah, it's far from what I usually do when I was trying to record it. Even though, yeah, the recorded the recording is already pretty much redundant or repetitive, so yeah, it's no longer something that I need to prioritize, even though yeah, it's still something good to do it over and over again. because yeah, that makes me more motivated to do those behavior. So yeah, I just don't know what else that I basically want to talk about. I don't know how long that this unintentional free time will last as well. Maybe it will not supposed to be that long, because yeah, it's not it's not really short, a long distance like what I used to get last week. Even though before last week, before the long weekend, I basically cannot utilize it either, because yeah, there's a lot of meetings on my main job of tasks, which sometimes I just don't know what's basically the purpose of each of the meetings. Why many people are just overthinking about something that I just don't know whether I basically still pretty far from understand, or maybe those kind of people are just too ambitious about what their curiosity to understand the context. I don't know. I just try to make myself as calm or as convenient as possible before the stressful are just getting bigger. Perhaps, I don't know. At least before those stressful begins, I need to do something that I didn't like first, which is working at a certain place as a mandatory things. Even though I used to do it on a trip before, but yeah, right now it is basically in the downtown of the city, which I basically need to waste more money as well for buying a food of in lunch, perhaps, I'm not sure, or even dinner, perhaps, if I basically want to utilize the time